I think it's safe to say you are a very driven individual. I noticed that even before we started talking, I could just tell, like, even the way you structure all of your content, the consistency and everything about it, you seem to be, there's something clearly driving you forward. So I'm curious to know how you went from working and doing the missionary work, teaching at schools and stuff like that, to stepping out on your own and starting your own business. Cause it's a completely different ballgame when you're responsible for the marketing, the branding, the sales, customer relations, and just working for a school. So what motivated you to make the shift?
So yes, I am a very driven person. I actually have always had an entrepreneurial mindset. I was 9 years old back in the day before all technology was out. I was going door to door selling pictures and
No
paintings.
shit.
So
Okay.
I've always been an entrepreneur. But what happened is during the last 6 months of my time in Korea, I graduated, had gotten my master's degree in Oriental painting, and I was trying to decide if I was going to come back to America and become an art professor because I realized teaching was one of my talents,
Mm,
or if I was going to continue with the YouTube channel. At that time, I had started the YouTube channel because about maybe a year and a half prior to that time, the institute, I went back to help them after I got my master's degree. I went back to officially being a missionary English teacher full time.
hmm
My boss at the time recognized that I had a passion for teaching, and we had students that were graduating from our program, but they wanted to come back and continue studying, but we had no curriculum for them. So
mm,
my boss, a Korean gentleman, he approached me and said, Tiff, would you create a curriculum for them? I was like, no problem. It wasn't any extra pay. I've just always enjoyed setting up plans, study plans, and helping people get to a certain level. So I created this entire curriculum and we tested it out for 2 months. And in a 2 month period, my students went from not being able to give a speech up front. They could speak English, but at the end of that 2 month period, they were each able to give a 15-minute speech in English with no notes at all. Things that even Americans struggle to do.
yep.
And so when that happened, I realized something's here. And again, it goes back to the continual thought that goes through my mind. I want to help more people. So when I saw that those 10 students were able to accomplish that in 2 months, I thought to myself, oh, I can help more Koreans. Let me go to this
Mm,
YouTube thing. So I started a YouTube channel and put the same lessons that I had taught them on the
hmm
YouTube channel. Again, because I was a web developer, tech and design, those are things that I already knew how to do as far as like using them on the platform.
Yeah.
What I realized though was that YouTube was not just going to shooting content to Koreans. I had students now in Africa and different parts of India. It was trickling in, right?
hmm
So prior to coming back to America, again, it all goes back to my relationship with God. My whole goal is to help people. So I always go back to God. God, what do you want me to do? Now, remember, there was a 7-day period praying and asking God, I have two options. I can go back to America and become an art professor, or I can continue with this YouTube channel and you'll take it wherever it goes. Just to give you context, at the time I prayed, the YouTube channel was bringing in maybe $50 a month, and I'd been
hmm
online for several months. It was bringing not even enough to put gas in my car for a month.
hmm
But I said, God, what do you want me to do? Once again, though, I mentioned earlier, if God tells me to do it, I don't question it, I just follow. And at the end of that 7-day period, a Korean television company that I had never contacted sent me a message and said, we found you on YouTube. Mind you, I was only making $50 a month. So it wasn't like I was huge on YouTube. And long story short, they wanted to put my content on Korean television. So
No shit.
fast forward, we signed a 3-year contract. They gave me enough money to come back to America to start the business. So it was basically the sign I needed at the end of that 7-day period. This is where you want me to go, God. I didn't see how he was going to use it to bless people, or I really want to help people to understand like the beauty of being a Christian. He said, just follow me and I'll take care of everything. So that's why I started the company coming back to America. That's why I started Speak English with Tiffany, all because I wanted to help people. God said, this is what I need you to do. Fast forward, we're at 2.2 million subscribers, I
2.2
think.
million subscribers. Yes.
Yeah.
Incredible.